What's up, everybody? Matt Kajeski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today we're talking some college football bets. It's the national championship, the last game. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. And if you're listening on podcast, please leave a rating and review over there too. It helps a ton. Without further ado, let's dive into the game. And I want to take some time out of our program to talk about our presenting sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. The whole goal of this channel is to find you the best edges possible in the betting markets. And right now, one of them is honestly just taking advantage of the promotions from these sports books. And DraftKings, they have a no-brainer right now. Go over there. You can either hit them up on their website or click the link in the video description below. Make your first deposit of at least $5, and then take that $5 and bet it on any market you'd like. And if the bet wins, doesn't win, doesn't matter. You're getting $200 free instantly. The bet doesn't even have to win. It's paid out in free bets that expire after 7 days, but it's still $200 to use on anything you'd like. This is literally free money, and it's one that's not going to be around forever. So make sure to take advantage of this by hitting the link in the video description below. All right, diving into the game. We've got Georgia favored by 12.5, favored by 13, depending on where you look, over TCU. Total in the game is 63 points. Before we dive into the game mechanics, let's talk some injuries. There are a couple key ones for both teams. TCU, we've got Kendry Miller, stud running back, questionable. He had to leave in the first half of last week's game against Michigan. He tried to return in the second half, but had to depart after just one touch there. Called a true game time decision here. If he does not play, I would expect to see Amari Demarcado handle a large workload for TCU, but that's really the main injury there. For Georgia, there's a bunch of defenders who are dealing with some nicks, but I think they're all going to play, so we won't belabor that too much. You have Darnell Washington left with an ankle injury, the stud tight end. He was seen in a walking boot after the game, but a reporter caught him on the flight to get to LA, and he actually did not have the walking boot on. He's been optimistic all week that he'll play, so I think we do see Darnell Washington. We also have Ladd McConkey dealing with a knee sprain. He's the receiver for Georgia. He's been battling this since the SEC championship. Played last week, did not look like himself, had to exit the game early. Same thing as Washington. Allegedly, he's going to play here, but I am starting to have real questions about how healthy he actually is at this point in the season. Luckily, for Georgia, that is, this McConkey injury did coincide with them getting back A.D. Mitchell, so they're not quite as thin at wide receivers. Maybe they might have been. But anyway, let's dive into this. We know TCU is going to play a little faster than Georgia. This is a team that varies their pace a lot. They have about a same pass rate. Actually, on the year, TCU's run the ball a little more than Georgia, which some people might not expect. As nearly 2 touchdown underdogs, I'd be surprised if that's the case here. But offensively, TCU runs a strange scheme. They're basically going to put you in 4 wide most of the time with 2 slot receivers. And then their 2 big boundary receivers, Quentin Johnson and Savion Williams. Right away, that should create some mismatches for the Georgia defense. Like their offense, honestly, they're very strong up front. They've defended the run really well. So it seems like the best path for a TCU potential victory or cover is through the air. Now, we know that Johnston and Savion Williams are stud boundary receivers. They both have size advantages too. You look at Keely Ringo, Kamari Lassiter, and Javon Bullard, the 3 corners that Georgia typically uses. Lassiter and Ringo are above 6 feet tall, but I mean, we're still talking defending 2 receivers that are a good 6'5". So really, no matter who's lined up against Johnston or Savion Williams, they're going to have size advantages. Interestingly, teams have kind of identified a weakness in Georgia's defense, and I'm hesitant to even call it a weakness. It might just be the point of least resistance. And that's these defensive backs, and in particular, Keely Ringo. Now, we saw Ohio State exploit this. Ohio State's going to exploit just about everybody's secondary, no matter who they are. We're talking about like Pro Bowl caliber receivers coming in and out of Ohio State every year. But these defensive backs did get cooked by them. Keely Ringo, honestly, his day could have been a lot worse. The Ohio State receivers had 3 drops in his coverage. They were still targeting Keely Ringo 13 times. If you look to the SEC championship, LSU attacked him 11 times. Georgia Tech attacked him 9 times. Tennessee attacked him 9 times. Now, not every one of those teams had as much success as Ohio State, so that's why I don't even want to call it a weakness. But for whatever reason, opposing offenses time after time after time have been trying to take advantage of that matchup. TCU has the personnel to do it. Duggan, I think, actually offers a little more under center than some of the other teams Georgia's beaten up on this year because he's mobile. Now, is it enough? And this is the question that I have. I do think Georgia is the side in terms of who's going to win this game, but can TCU use that advantage, potential advantage, to cover this game? Because you look at the Georgia side, we know what they can do. Todd Monken, their OC, he's willing to exploit whatever matchup weaknesses opposing teams give him. Sometimes that's via an aerial attack with Stetson Bennett, who's played extremely well this year, showed a lot of growth. Their pass rate was above 50% early in the year. It's now dropped to around 47, which is shockingly balanced for a Georgia team we kind of view, at least historically, as this ground and pound attack. But all that says is they have a lot of player personnel that can take advantage of you in a lot of good ways. So matching up against TCU, the biggest mismatch, first and foremost, is the Georgia offensive line, the Georgia run game against that TCU front. The TCU front ranks 95th in contact at or behind the line of scrimmage. They run that 3-3 stack defense where you essentially have 5 DBs on the field every time. It's not really a personnel that is designed to stop the run. You kind of need to dedicate extra defenders on the box to do that, which they've done and at times this year. And they have defended solid running backs. You look at Texas, they held Bijan in check, Bijan Robinson. But it's still a different caliber opponent here with Georgia. And Georgia goes 3 deep at running back, especially Kenny McIntosh, great pass catcher, Edwards, Milton. These are players they can rotate on and off. But I also think they have some mismatches in the secondary and in the receiving game they could take advantage of. It's not McConkey. It's not A.D. Mitchell. They're going to line up on 2 of the better boundary corners in the entire country, really. Trevius Hodges Tomlinson and Josh Newton. But you still have Darnell Washington, again, expected to play. You still have Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers lines up in the slot about 50% of the time. He's in line 39% of the time. Who's defending him on those plays? You can really put Bowers on the field in advantageous situations where he's legitimately just too big for some DBs. And then he's legitimately too fast for some linebackers. How they use him, I think, is key. Darnell Washington, the 6'7", 270-pound tight end, he's mostly in line. But again, you get him on a linebacker, that's another big mismatch for this team. So I do think there are even advantages in the secondary for Georgia if they want to exploit that. Ultimately, it's still a slow team, 114th in pace. So anytime you're getting such a heavy number on the underdog TCU, that is, I'm certainly interested. And then I come back to the ways TCU, I think, can score. They have some advantages against the Georgia secondary. So to me, with the big number, I'm still going to back the Frogs. Nothing like a money line play. I don't think TCU wins the game. But if you're nearly going to give me 2 touchdowns, plus 13 with TCU, I'll take the Horned Frogs. And that'll do it for us today with the Odd Shopper channel. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this game. Anything else in the betting markets you're interested in. And if you'd like to, you can reach out to me on Twitter at Matt_Gajeski. Always willing to chop it up over there as well. But this is our last betting video for college football. We'll have you covered with college basketball and every other sport you could possibly imagine on this channel. But thank you guys for watching all season long. It's been a pleasure to do this for you. I had a blast. I hope you did too. And one last time, good luck, everyone. We'll see you again soon.